It's one of the big talkers of the morning. State Senate President Emil Jones announced his retirement.
The Illinois Senate president will step down when his term ends in January. His announcement sparked a scramble about who will replace him as Senate president. Well, joining us with some insight is political consultant Thom Serafin. We talked earlier with Ricky Hendon. He said with 65% of surety that he would probably be the next successor to Emil Jones. You say not so fast.
Well, no, Senator Hendon has always been a very aggressive and confident senator. He's done a good job representing his district. But in this particular race, it starts clean. You're going to have the Chicago representatives. He's got Donnie Trotter. He's got John Cullerton, who represents the governor in his district, close to Mayor Daley, was a House of Representatives member with Mike Madigan. He brings a lot to the table. But we haven't had a downstater as Senate president since in my memory, in my lifetime. And we had Bill Harris, a Republican from Pontiac, but we haven't had anybody from downstate. And my money would be on Jim Claiborne, who's out of the Metro East area, Belleville, East St. Louis. Very attractive African-American. The Republicans love him. The Democrats love him. He'd be the perfect compromise candidate. And it's about time it goes downstate.
Okay. Talk about just the seat as a whole, not the presidency, but the seat. A lot of talk about his son, Emil Jones III. Explain to me how this works, because essentially the voters have no say in this for years.
Well, once he gets elected, then they have a say when a re-election comes up in 4 years. But, you've had the same thing with everybody else in this town. Rich Daley's, his dad was a mayor. Tom Hines was an assessor, and now his young man, Dan Hines, is the controller. I mean, we can go through a list of people. I wrote it down. Mike Madigan, Lisa Madigan, Bill Crothers, Ike Crothers, Rob Blagojevich, Rich Schmel, Denny Jacobs, his son Mike Jacobs, Bill Lipinski, Dan Lipinski. I mean, there's not enough time on the air to go through all the hand-me-downs.
We did a poll last night. Right or wrong, 91% of people texted us and said it was absolutely wrong for Emil Jones III to get that job. 91% of people. So are people fed up with this or no?
If I was in the caucus arguing that case, I'd say, well, the whites have been doing it for decades. They've been doing it for generations. And now, all of a sudden, an African-American leader who's been 35 years and a good guy who's done a good job for the people of Illinois as Senate president wants his son to take over. And why not? I mean, it's always been good for everybody on the South Side, and the Irish and the Polish communities and the ethnic communities, and all of a sudden it's not good for me. That's the problem that they're going to have when people say it's not right. It is right from the people's point of view. Of course, we can't hand these offices down. We should have it out. But you know what? They can continue to re-elect these individuals. So the people have a vote.
But was he ready to lead? Is Emil Jones III ready to be in that position?
He's ready only because he's been at his dad's arm. He's watched his dad for 35 years. His dad was elected in '72 in the House of Representatives, went to the Senate in '83, became minority leader in '92. And, nobody has given Emil Jones credit. Throughout his tenure, they thought, well, he's not too bright. He can't do this. He can't. Well, guess what? He's got a veto-proof majority in the Illinois Senate today. He's the man that calls the shots. It used to be Mike Madigan who called all the shots in Springfield, the Speaker of the House from the South Side. Now he sits there with Rod Blagojevich. Now when he's gone, Rod Blagojevich, the governor, is going to be in jeopardy because the weight and the power shifts back to Mike Madigan, the Speaker of the House. That's the big battle here. In 1977, you had 170, 180 ballots where there was a stalemate for 6 weeks in Springfield. We could not elect an Illinois Senate president. Phil Rock from Oak Park backed out of the race. Tommy Hines was elected. He took over. His son now, Dan Hines, is controller. Things come out of these races that are going to change the way we see Illinois. It's going to be a very, very interesting time.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, Thom.
You're welcome.